The market day in Iwo was as vibrant as ever, with its usual hum of life. Merchants stood behind stalls brimming with produce and hand-woven goods, each proudly displaying their wares like treasured jewels. The bright colors of fabrics and spices contrasted with the earthy tones of clay pots and wooden crafts, creating a kaleidoscope of sights that captivated every passerby. Women balanced baskets on their heads, their children trailing behind them, while the men gathered in small groups, haggling fiercely over livestock prices. Laughter and chatter rippled through the air, mingling with the calls of merchants, the clang of iron tools, and the occasional bark of a restless dog. It was a familiar rhythm, one that spoke of the village's harmony and bustling energy. But hidden beneath the surface of this routine was an undercurrent of mischief, a secret known only to a few. Ajakaye, notorious for his pranks, had been planning something for weeks. His mind had been spinning with ideas. But today, he had settled on a spectacle so outrageous it would be talked about for generations. He had confided in his two closest friends, Open Femi, partners in mischief who, like Ajakaye, thrived on the chaos their antics caused. They had spent the last few days whispering in corners, laughing quietly to themselves as they crafted every detail of their scheme. The excitement in Ajakaye's eyes was unmistakable, and though Ope and Femi shared his enthusiasm, even they couldn't quite predict how the events would unfold. The sun climbed to its peak, casting a blinding light over the bustling market. People wiped their brows and sought shade under the nearest trees or canopies, but the heat did little to slow the pace of trade. Suddenly, the atmosphere shifted. From the direction of the Forbidden Forest, a place steeped in mystery and fear, an eerie, disembodied voice rang out across the market square, sending chills down every spine. My stone, who stole my stone?" The words reverberated as though carried by an unnatural wind. Instantly, the once lively chatter of the market faded to an anxious silence. Eyes darted towards the edge of the forest, where shadows seemed to stretch and twist in strange, unnatural shapes. Emerging from the gloom of the trees was a figure draped in tattered, earth-stained cloth. It was a masquerade, an unfamiliar one at that. No one recognized the design of its ragged attire, nor the mask it wore, crafted from rags and leaves. The mask's features were grotesque, the face etched with sharp, angular lines that gave it a sinister appearance. The masquerade's movements were jerky, almost unnatural, as it stumbled into the market with its small body, arms flailing, its voice booming again, "My stone! Who dares to take what belongs to me?" The market-goers stood rooted to the spot, paralyzed by fear and confusion. Masquerades were a part of Iwo's culture, but they were sacred, revered beings tied to the spiritual realm. To see one emerge from the Forbidden Forest, a place shrouded in taboo and secrecy, so small in stature compared to the familiar ones, was unheard of. Mothers pulled their children close, merchants stepped back from their stalls, and even the village elders, seated at the far end of the square, exchanged uneasy glances. The air, once filled with lively commerce, now crackled with tension. People running up and down for safety. The masquerade stomped through the market, its voice rising to a fevered pitch. "Who dares to steal from me? Return it or face the wrath of the unseen." Its words hung ominously in the air, and the villagers began to murmur amongst themselves. Some whispered prayers under their breath, while others hurriedly packed up their goods, unwilling to be caught in whatever divine retribution the figure threatened. The masquerade's erratic behavior was unsettling. It swung its arms violently, knocking over baskets of yams and scattering grains across the dirt floor. Behind the mask, however, was none other than Ajakaye. His heart raced with a mix of exhilaration and anticipation. He could feel the eyes of the entire village on him, the power he held in that moment thrilling him to his core. Ope and Femi watched from a distance, struggling to suppress their laughter, knowing the full extent of the prank's absurdity. It was a spectacle, yes, but it was also a delicate game. Ajakaye knew how far he could push the villagers' fear, and he treaded that line with precision. Any moment now, he would reveal the truth, and the market would erupt in laughter. Or so he hoped. The moment the masquerade's haunting voice bellowed through the air, the atmosphere in the market shifted from unease to outright terror. Like a dam bursting, panic swept through the crowd, shattering the fragile order that had once governed the marketplace. Children screamed in fear, their small hands slipping from their mothers' grips as they tried to flee the creature's path. Vendors, who moments earlier had been haggling with customers or proudly arranging their goods, abandoned their stalls in a frantic rush, scattering their wares without a second thought. Clay pots toppled to the ground, shattering on impact. Baskets of fruit and vegetables spilled across the dirt, trampled underfoot by the fleeing villagers. The rhythmic hum of market life dissolved into chaotic shrieks and hurried footsteps as people ran in every direction, desperate to escape the creature's wrath. Amid the chaos, the unfamiliar masquerade continued to move with purpose through the streets, its ominous presence leaving a trail of overturned carts and forgotten goods in its wake. With each step, the creature's gravelly voice rose above the din, filling the air with dread. "Return my stone, or suffer the curse of the forest," it shouted, its words dripping with malice. The sound was unlike anything the villagers had ever heard, as if the voice itself had come from deep within the earth, echoing from the bowels of the forbidden forest. It sent shivers down the spines of even the bravest souls in the village. The stories of the forbidden forest were well known in Igbo. Generations of villagers had passed down the tales of spirits and curses that lurked in its depths, warning that those who ventured too close would never return. Until Ajakaye and his team went in and lost for 3 days before coming out with a greenish shining stone that brought fortune to the entire village. It was a place untouched by human hands, feared and respected in equal measure. And now, to see a masquerade emerge from that very forest, demanding the return of something stolen from its realm, the stone that has brought massive fortune to the entire community, was more than enough to strike fear into the hearts of the people.
I hope you are enjoying the story. Please, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so that you will be notified anytime I upload new video. Now let's continue the story.
No one dared challenge the creature. Mothers clutched their children to their chests, their wide eyes darting about, while elders hurriedly whispered prayers to ward off whatever evil had descended upon them. For Ope and Femi, however, the situation was growing far more alarming than they had anticipated. Standing on the edge of the market, they watched in disbelief as the prank spiraled wildly out of control. What had started as a simple plan to stir up some excitement had turned into something far more dangerous. The screams of frightened villagers, the sight of overturned stalls and terrified faces. It was all too real. The two friends had always enjoyed a good laugh at the expense of others, but this was different. This was fear, the kind of fear that could lead to someone getting hurt. "This has gone too far," Ope whispered, his voice tight with worry. His heart pounded in his chest as he glanced at Femi, who was equally shaken. "We need to stop this before someone gets hurt." Femi nodded in agreement, his usual mischievous grin replaced by a look of genuine concern. "But how? We can't just go out there and tell everyone it's a joke. They'll never believe us." "Especially not now," he replied, his voice barely audible over the chaos that surrounded them. Ope's mind raced. The prank had gone far beyond what any of them had expected. The villagers were terrified, and the masquerade, with Ajakaye at its center, was pushing the boundaries of their fear. He glanced toward the heart of the market, where the masquerade continued to demand the return of its stone, and felt a knot of dread tighten in his stomach. They had to act quickly. But the more he thought about it, the more he realized there was only one way to stop this before it escalated even further. "We need to go to the chief," Ope said firmly, his voice steadying with resolve. "He's the only one who can calm the villagers down. If we tell him the truth, maybe he'll find a way to diffuse the situation without making it worse." Femi hesitated, the weight of Ope's words sinking in. Going to the chief meant admitting their involvement, exposing the prank for what it was. There would be consequences, serious ones, but the alternative was far worse. If they didn't act now, the fear gripping the market could lead to injury or worse, and they'd have to live with that guilt forever. "Let's go," Femi finally said, his voice grim. Without another word, the two friends exchanged nervous glances and hurried off, weaving through the panicked crowd as they made their way toward the chief's compound. The once familiar path now seemed fraught with danger, as if each step carried them deeper into the consequences of their actions. Behind them, the masquerade's voice continued to thunder through the marketplace, demanding what could never be returned. Ajakaye crouched low behind a merchant's stall, his heart pounding as he watched the chaotic scene he had set into motion. At first, there had been an exhilarating thrill to it all. The way the villagers scattered like startled birds, the sound of their terrified cries as the masquerade stomped through the market. It was everything he had imagined. But now, a knot of anxiety twisted in his stomach. The fear in their eyes wasn't the playful kind he had hoped for. It was real, raw, and unrelenting. The prank was supposed to be a harmless bit of fun, something to stir excitement on an otherwise ordinary market day. Yet as he saw mothers clutching their children and elders muttering frantic prayers, Ajakaye realized things had spiraled far beyond his control. He wiped the sweat from his brow, trying to think of a way out. How could he end this without making it worse? If he simply revealed himself now, the villagers might turn their fear into anger, anger directed squarely at him. The thought sent a wave of panic through him, and for a brief moment, Ajakaye considered slipping away, disappearing into the forest, leaving the masquerade to be nothing more than an unsolved mystery. But deep down, he knew that wasn't an option. This was his doing, and he had to find a way to set it right. Before he could move, something caught his eye, a figure cutting through the chaos like a knife through cloth. A tall, imposing figure, draped in the rich, embroidered robes of leadership. Oba Olusegun, the village chief, had arrived at the scene, his presence unmistakable. The chief's tall frame moved with the grace and authority of a man who had seen many things in his time, but his face was a mask of simmering fury as he surveyed the pandemonium in front of him. His eyes narrowed at the overturned stalls, the scattered goods, and the frightened villagers. This was his village, his people, and what had started as a simple market day had devolved into chaos under his watch. Ajakaye's heart sank as he watched the chief's expression darken. He knew Oba Olusegun well, respected him, even feared him a little. The chief was not a man to be trifled with, and the look on his face now was one of barely contained rage. Ajakaye swallowed hard, knowing that his prank had crossed a line he wasn't sure he could come back from. He needed to act, but his limbs felt frozen with indecision. As if on cue, Ajakaye spotted two familiar figures approaching the chief, Ope and Femi, their faces pale with guilt. The crowd parted around them as they made their way toward the center of the market, their footsteps hesitant, as if the weight of their actions dragged them down. They looked like boys being led to face judgment, and in many ways they were. Ajakaye watched with bated breath as his friends stopped before Oba Olusegun, their heads bowed low in deference and shame. "Oba, we have something to tell you," Ope began, his voice barely above a whisper. His usual bravado was gone, replaced by a tone of deep remorse. Femi stood beside him, equally shaken, his eyes darting nervously between the chief and the masquerade still rampaging through the market. Oba Olusegun's piercing gaze bore into them, his arms folded across his broad chest. "Speak," he commanded, his voice low but filled with authority. The entire market seemed to hold its breath, the villagers drawn to the unfolding scene, as if sensing that some revelation was about to occur. "The masquerade, it is not from the forest," Ope stammered, his words tumbling out in a rush. "It's Ajakaye. He disguised himself to frighten the village." Femi nodded in agreement, his voice trembling as he added, "It was meant to be a joke, Oba. We didn't think it would go this far." For a moment there was silence. The chief's eyes narrowed, his expression unreadable as he processed the confession. Slowly, his gaze shifted from Ope and Femi to the center of the market, where the masquerade still pranced about, its voice echoing with threats of curses and stolen stones. The truth of the situation began to dawn on him, and with it a cold fury settled over his features. "Ajakaye," Oba Olusegun muttered, the name slipping from his lips like a curse. His jaw clenched, the muscles in his neck tightening as he realized the full extent of the deception. This wasn't just a harmless prank. It was a mockery of the sacred traditions that governed their village, a violation of the unspoken rules that bound them all together. His eyes, now burning with anger, turned back to Ope and Femi. "You too have chosen to confess," he said, his voice dangerously calm. "But do not think for a moment that your honesty will absolve you of responsibility. You were part of this scheme, and you will face the consequences." As for Ajakaye, he trailed off, his gaze locking onto the disguised figure at the center of the square. The tension in the air was palpable. Villagers, now realizing that the masquerade was nothing more than an elaborate trick, began to murmur amongst themselves. Fear gave way to outrage, and Ajakaye, still hidden behind the stall, could feel the weight of their collective gaze turning toward him. He knew there was no escape now. The chief was coming for him, and there would be no mercy. Without a moment's hesitation, Oba Olusegun strode forward, his imposing figure cutting through the market like a blade. His long, dignified robes trailed behind him, billowing with the energy of his fury. The crowd, sensing the gravity of the situation, instinctively parted to make way for their chief. The silence that fell over the market was almost eerie, a stark contrast to the chaos that had erupted just moments before. Every eye was on Ajakaye, who stood frozen at the center of it all, no longer the mischievous prankster, but a boy caught in the consequences of his own folly. Ajakaye had removed his mask, his once bright eyes now clouded with uncertainty. What had started as a prank, a bit of fun to stir up the day, was now crumbling around him. He had seen the end coming the moment Ope and Femi had confessed, but he hadn't expected it to feel so final. As Oba Olusegun approached, Ajakaye tried to summon his usual bravado, forcing a grin that had gotten him out of trouble many times before. But this time, the grin faltered. The weight of the situation pressed down on him like a heavy stone. His hands lifted instinctively, palms open in a gesture of surrender. "It was just a joke, Oba," Ajakaye said, his voice lacking its usual spark. He knew the power of words, how they could weave humor out of tension, but today his words felt empty. The lightheartedness that had driven him earlier now seemed woefully inadequate in the face of the chief's growing anger. Oba Olusegun's face remained hard as stone, his dark eyes narrowing as he studied Ajakaye's expression. The air between them was thick with unspoken judgment, the weight of tradition and responsibility settling like a storm cloud. When the chief spoke, his voice was not loud, but it was firm, each word as sharp and deliberate as a blade. "A joke," he repeated, his tone betraying the disbelief in Ajakaye's claim. "Look around you, boy. Look at the chaos you've caused." He gestured toward the wreckage of the market. Stalls overturned, goods scattered and trampled, mothers still clutching their children with wide, fearful eyes. The once lively market had been reduced to disarray, and it was all because of Ajakaye's so-called joke. "You've turned the market upside down, frightened our people, and disrupted the peace of this village. Do you not understand the consequences of invoking fear with such mischief?" Ajakaye opened his mouth to respond, but the words caught in his throat. Oba Olusegun's gaze bore into him, and for the first time, Ajakaye truly understood the depth of what he had done. It wasn't just the market that had been disrupted, it was the trust that bound the community together. He had made a mockery of the village's greatest fear, the fear of the forbidden forest, of curses and spirits long rumored to dwell in its depths. What he had thought was a harmless prank had tapped into something far deeper, something sacred to the people of Iwo. Swallowing hard, Ajakaye lowered his eyes, the weight of his guilt settling on his shoulders. His cleverness, which had always been his shield, now felt like a burden. He had wanted to make the villagers laugh, to bring some excitement to the day, but instead he had sown fear, and that fear was now looking back at him through the eyes of the chief. "I didn't mean any harm, Oba," Ajakaye said, his voice subdued, a shadow of its former self. He wasn't pleading anymore, just explaining, as if trying to make sense of it for himself. "I thought it would be funny." Oba Olusegun's gaze softened ever so slightly, but his expression remained stern. He let out a long, measured breath, as if trying to gather the right words. "Intentions, Ajakaye, are not enough. It's not what you intended that matters, but what you've done. Look at the fear you've sown, the mistrust you've planted among your people. You can't simply brush this away with a smile and an apology." Ajakaye's heart sank even further. He had always been quick-witted, always able to find a way out of trouble with a clever line or a cheeky grin. But this was different. The chief was not just scolding him. He was laying bare the consequences of his actions, showing him the cracks he had caused in the foundation of the community. And for once, Ajakaye had no clever retort, no witty comeback. He had crossed a line, and there was no going back. The crowd around them remained hushed, watching with bated breath. Some of the villagers, their initial fear subsiding, now looked at Ajakaye with anger, their eyes hardening as they realized the masquerade had been nothing more than a childish prank. Whispers began to ripple through the market. Whispers of disappointment, of betrayal.
I hope you are enjoying the story. Please, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so that you will be notified anytime I upload new video. Now let's continue the story.
Oba Olusegun stepped closer to Ajakaye, lowering his voice so that only he could hear. "You are young, Ajakaye, but that does not excuse you from understanding the weight of your actions. This village depends on trust, on respect for one another and for the land we live on. What you've done today has shaken that trust." Ajakaye nodded slowly, his throat dry. There was nothing more to say, no way to talk himself out of this. The truth was clear, and for the first time, he felt the full gravity of his own actions pressing down on him. He had made a mistake, one that no amount of cleverness could undo. "I'm sorry, Oba," he said, his voice barely above a whisper, but in that moment he meant it more than he ever had before. The chief's words hung in the air, heavy and unrelenting. Ajakaye, though known for his quick wit and sharp tongue, found himself at a rare loss. He could feel the intensity of the chief's gaze, the disappointment that laced every syllable. Oba Olusegun had always been a fair leader, a man of wisdom and patience. But today Ajakaye could sense the thin thread of that patience being tested. His heart pounded in his chest as the gravity of the situation became clear. "You have cleverness, Ajakaye," the chief continued, his voice steady but unyielding, "and that is no small thing. Many people go through life without the gift of quick thinking, without the ability to see the world in ways others cannot. But cleverness, when misused, can be a double-edged sword. What you did today was not just mischief. It was a betrayal of the trust this village has in you." The crowd, still gathered around them, watched in silence. Some had begun to right their stalls, gathering the goods that had been scattered in the chaos. Others stood, arms crossed, whispering to one another, their eyes flicking between the chief and Ajakaye. The panic that had gripped them earlier was now giving way to a simmering resentment. The villagers had lived through countless market days, their routines familiar and comfortable. What Ajakaye had done disrupted more than just their mourning. It had shaken the very foundation of their sense of security. "You've crossed a line today," Oba Olusegun said, shaking his head. "This village thrives on trust and peace, on the knowledge that we are all here to support and protect one another. What you did, bringing fear into this place, invoking the legends of the Forbidden Forest, was not just foolish, it was dangerous. If you continue down this path, Ajakaye, there will be consequences far worse than anything you can imagine." The chief's words cut deep, each one landing like a blow to Ajakaye's already fragile sense of pride. For the first time in his life, Ajakaye felt truly humbled, his bravado crumbling in the face of the truth. He had always played the part of the clever trickster, always skirting the edge of trouble, but never fully crossing into it. Today, however, he had gone too far, and he could feel the weight of that misstep pressing down on him. "I didn't mean for this to happen," Ajakaye said, his voice barely above a whisper. His usual confidence was gone, replaced by a quiet vulnerability that he wasn't used to feeling. "I thought it would be fun, just a joke to liven up the market day. I didn't realize—" His voice trailed off as he looked around at the faces of the villagers, many of whom still eyed him with suspicion and anger. He realized, perhaps for the first time, that his actions had real consequences, consequences that went beyond a moment of laughter or a fleeting thrill. Oba Olusegun studied him for a moment, his expression softening slightly, though the sternness in his eyes remained. "You have talent, Ajakaye," he said, his voice carrying a hint of something deeper, perhaps hope, perhaps caution. "You have a gift that many in this village do not possess, but talent alone is not enough. If you do not learn to control it, if you let your cleverness lead you into recklessness, it will become your undoing." Ajakaye felt the chief's words sink into him, each one landing with a weight that was impossible to ignore. He had always been proud of his ability to outthink others, to turn any situation into an opportunity for mischief or humor. But today was different. Today, he had allowed that cleverness to lead him into a place he had not intended to go, a place where fear and chaos reigned, where the trust of his fellow villagers had been shaken. He bowed his head, the full realization of his mistakes settling over him like a heavy cloak. For a moment, the world around him seemed to blur, the voices of the villagers fading into the background as the chief's words echoed in his mind. Trust, peace, consequences. These were not just abstract concepts. They were the lifeblood of the village, the very things that held Iwo together. And he had nearly jeopardized them all. The market, once so vibrant and full of life, had begun to return to a semblance of order. Vendors returned to their stalls, children clung to their mothers, and the air was filled with a nervous buzz. Yet in the hearts of many, something had shifted. Ajakaye could feel it, the unspoken tension that lingered in the space between him and the villagers. They had always seen him as the clever one, the boy with a knack for mischief but never harm. But now, that image had been tainted. "You have a choice to make, Ajakaye," Oba Olusegun said, his voice cutting through the noise of the market like a knife. "You can continue down this path, using your talent for selfish amusement, for tricks and games that may one day lead to something far worse than this. Or you can choose to use your cleverness for the good of the village, for the peace and well-being of the people who live here." Ajakaye looked up, meeting the chief's gaze. In that moment, he realized that this was more than just a reprimand. It was a turning point, a crossroads in his life. He could continue being the clever prankster, always pushing boundaries and testing limits, or he could become something more, someone who used his talents not just for himself, but for the good of those around him. "I understand, Oba," Ajakaye said quietly, his voice steady but filled with a newfound sense of responsibility. "I won't let this happen again." Oba Olusegun nodded, his stern expression giving way to one of cautious approval. "See that you don't," he replied before turning and walking away, leaving Ajakaye standing in the middle of the market, his heart heavy, but his mind clearer than it had been in a long time. As the villagers slowly returned to their routines, Ajakaye knew that the road ahead would not be easy. Trust, once broken, was not easily mended, but he was determined to try. Today had been a lesson, a hard one, but a lesson nonetheless. And as he watched the market come back to life, he resolved to be more than just the village prankster. He would find a way to use his gift wisely, as Oba Olusegun had urged him to do. As Oba Olusegun turned to leave, he gave one final warning. "Let this be your first and last time, Ajakaye. The village will not tolerate such mischief again." And with that, the market resumed its hum, though Ajakaye stood quietly, pondering the lesson he had learned that day. As the chaos unfolded in the marketplace, with villagers running in every direction and stalls left abandoned, an elderly woman known as Mama Tom Tom struggled to keep her balance. She was one of the oldest traders in Iwo, selling traditional herbs and spices. Her frail hands clutched her walking stick as she watched in fear as the unfamiliar masquerade caused havoc. In the commotion, Mama Tom Tom didn't notice her leather purse, filled with the day's earnings, slip from her waist and fall to the ground. It wasn't until the crowd had thinned out that she realized it was missing. "My purse! Oh no, my purse!" she cried out, her voice trembling with worry. With no one around to help, her fear and frustration grew. Losing her earnings would mean not having enough for her medicine or even her next meal. She bent down, trying to search the area, but her old eyes couldn't make out anything amidst the scattered goods and debris left in the wake of the prank. Ajakaye, still wearing a satisfied smirk after his successful prank, noticed the elderly woman's distress. His heart softened at the sight of Mama Tom Tom's frail figure hunched over, searching desperately for her purse. While Ajakaye was notorious for his mischievous ways, he had always harbored a sense of responsibility for the elders in the village, especially those like Mama Tom Tom, who had seen generations of villagers grow up. Without hesitation, Ajakaye pushed through the crowd, now less concerned with his prank and more focused on helping. "Mama Tom Tom, what is wrong?" he asked, his voice gentle, knowing the old woman was on the verge of tears. "My purse, my son. I've lost my purse in all this madness," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "Everything I earned today is gone." Ajakaye's playful expression vanished, replaced with genuine concern. "Don't worry, Mama, I'll find it for you," he reassured her. He quickly scanned the area, his sharp eyes darting across the ground, looking for any sign of the missing purse. The villagers, still recovering from the prank, paused to watch Ajakaye as he moved swiftly, his demeanor entirely changed. He no longer appeared as the trickster, but as someone determined to fix the wrong caused by his own actions. After a few tense moments, his hand shot toward a small, dust-covered object half hidden beneath an overturned basket of vegetables. He pulled out a worn leather purse, the very one Mama Tom Tom had lost. "Here it is, Mama Tom Tom," Ajakaye exclaimed. holding the purse up high for all to see. Relief washed over Mama Tom-Tom's face as she rushed toward him, her hands trembling as she took the purse from his grasp. "Oh, thank you, my child. Thank you," she said, her voice cracking with emotion. "May the gods bless you for this." The crowd, who had been so quick to condemn Ajakaye's prank, now murmured in admiration. He had once again shown that beneath his mischief lay a heart that cared deeply for his people. His good deed amidst the chaos reminded everyone why, despite his troublesome ways, Ajakaye was still someone they could count on in moments of need. Ajakaye, feeling both the weight of his mischief and the warmth of gratitude from Mama Tom-Tom, smiled humbly. "I'm sorry for the trouble I caused," he said, addressing the villagers. "It was never my intention to hurt anyone." Though the prank had caused its fair share of distress, Ajakaye's act of kindness toward Mama Tom-Tom softened the hearts of those who had been angry with him just moments before. Even Obo Olusegun, watching from afar, couldn't help but acknowledge that while Ajakaye might have a knack for causing trouble, he also had the gift of bringing things back together with his good deeds. And so, from today's episode of our story, one can learn that Ajakaye's prank initially aimed to bring laughter but resulted in chaos and fear within the village. This highlights the importance of understanding how our actions can affect others. Even seemingly harmless jokes can have unintended consequences, and it's crucial to consider the potential impact before acting. Also, after witnessing the distress his prank caused, Ajakaye took responsibility for his actions by helping Mama Tom-Tom recover her lost purse. This teaches us that when we make mistakes, it's vital to acknowledge them and take steps to rectify the situation. Being accountable not only helps heal relationships, but also fosters trust within a community. In the end, the experience served as a turning point for Ajakaye, helping him realize the importance of using his talents wisely. Mistakes can be valuable learning opportunities, guiding us toward personal growth and better decision-making. Now, taking effective steps and embracing these lessons can lead to positive changes in
Thanks for
behavior
watching today's
and
story.
character.
I believe you enjoyed every bit of it all. Now I want you to do me one favor, subscribe to this channel, like and turn on the notification bell if you have not done so that whenever I release my next video, you will be notified immediately. See you soon.